This is
Cast.
Hello there, and welcome to a brand new episode of my podcast, Podcast Racing. On today's episode of the podcast, I'm going to be talking about, with my good friends Mary Ann, our thoughts on who we think is going to get nominated at the Oscars and who we want to get nominated at the Oscars. Now, a quick disclaimer before we start. Neither one of us has seen every film from 2020. There might be some films that are sure going to be nominated, or some people that are sure going to be nominated, or some people that you might want us to say that should be nominated that we might not mention. And if we don't mention a favorite of yours or a possible favorite of the Academy, then sorry about that. But again, we haven't seen every film in 2020, so there might be some films or people not mentioned in this video. And again, I'm doing this podcast with my good friends Marianne. How are you doing?
Great. How are you?
I'm good. I'm ready to get the vaccine hopefully soon.
Yeah. Well, we're both young, so I think we're on the very bottom of that list. But yeah, I agree.
Yes. Yeah, I'm definitely on the very bottom of the list for sure. But today we're going to be talking about who we think and who we want to be nominated at the Oscars. We're not going to be addressing all the categories, because I think if we were to address all the categories, this episode would be like 3-4 hours long. So for time's sake, we're just going to be sharing our thoughts on the main categories, which is picture, director, all the acting categories, original screenplay, and adapted screenplay. And we're going to start out with adapted screenplay first, actually. If you could go ahead and go first, share your thoughts. First, who you think is going to get nominated, not who you want yet.
Okay. To be honest, I kind of did both because I follow Gold Derby a lot, and I look at what they have as the odds and stuff. So
Yeah.
I know that there's several that I haven't had a chance to see, so I don't really know about. I don't feel comfortable saying what I think will be nominated versus what I want to win when I haven't seen as much as I would like to have had at this point. Usually I'm really up to date on the Oscar nominees, but not this year. So I'm just going to go with kind of a hybrid of ones that all the ones that I'm going to say in all the categories are ones that I have seen, but I also do think they have a chance. I didn't pick like ones that I would personally love but have no chance. These are not in any particular order. Nomadland, One Night in Miami, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, News of the World, and First Cow.
Really? You think that First Cow has a chance?
I don't think it's like an impossibility. It's not necessarily like a surefire potential pick, but I'd say it's a dark horse. They sometimes like to get that one little indie darling in there, you know?
Yeah, but the thing with First Cow is that came out back in like March, and like films that come out earlier in the year. Well, this has been a very strange and unprecedented year, but usually, the Academy completely forgets about films that came out like before like June or whatever. So yeah, I'm surprised that you're naming First Cow, even though a lot of critics and people on Letterboxd and a app that we both use love First Cow.
Yeah, give me a second. I'm going to look something up here because I know normally I agree with you, and that's very true. However, I'm checking to see what it did with the Indie Spirit Awards, because I know that can sometimes be a little bit of a booster to some of the films that didn't come out at the very end of the year. So let me.
That's true. Yes, the Indie Spirit Awards.
I know it missed a couple that some people thought it was going to get. Like, it didn't get a Best Actor nomination, but it might have gotten Best Screenplay. So let me just check that real quick. No, it wasn't. Okay, so maybe not. That's a fair point, but I'm still gonna hope for it anyway.
No, I really enjoyed the movie. I'm not saying that I don't want it to
Yeah.
get nominated. I'm just saying that I don't think it has a shot personally, because I think that film is a little too indie for the Academy, and lately the Oscars, they have been going for more like accessible films, to get people
Yeah.
to watch the ceremony.
Yeah.
if the Academy actually really cared about nominating the best of each category, Joker probably would have only had like 1 or 2 nominations instead of one.
Well, and keep in mind too, there's probably some that were in like that are being considered big front runners that I probably haven't seen yet. So I kind of just excluded if I hadn't seen it. So I kind of had to put one in. I was like, well, I really liked that one, and it has a dark horse chance, so why not?
A film that I also kind of follow Gold Derby a little, and one film that some people are saying could be nominated for adapted screenplay is News of the World, but I haven't seen News of the World yet, so
Right.
and also I haven't been hearing the best things about that movie, so I don't think that film really has a shot either. For me, I like you with adapted screenplay. The films that I think and want to get nominated are kind of the same. So for me, my nominees for adapted screenplay are The Father, I'm Thinking of Ending Things, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, Nomadland, and One Night in Miami.
So not a huge difference then.
Yeah, no, we both said Nomadland, One Night in Miami, and Ma Rainey. And I'm surprised. Did you say The Father or did you not?
No, I haven't seen that yet.
Okay.
But it probably will. I have been hearing good things about that. So
I was lucky enough to get to see that film online at the Hamptons International Film Festival, and that I saw 3 films from the Hamptons Festival: Nomadland, Father, and Mirari. To all of you Americans out there who have been calling the film Minari, it's actually pronounced, as a Korean, I can tell you, it's actually pronounced Minari.
I'm glad you did, because I haven't seen it yet and I would not have known that. So
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
I say that because Minari is another film that like people have been praising, but they keep calling it Minari, and that's not how it's pronounced. It's
Right.
pronounced Minari, and it's like a herb that's like grown mostly in Korea.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I recommend that one and The Father if you get the chance. But
Yeah.
But yeah, like we both know that like Ma Rainey, One Night in Miami, and Nomadland, people have been loving all those movies, and Ma
Yeah.
Rainey especially. Like it has the added, not bonus, but it has that added like attention of Chadwick Boseman's unfortunate passing.
Yes.
So like people are paying attention to that film a lot more because it's his last film. And Nomadland is just an amazing film in general. Like that's in like my top 5 favorites of the year.
So is that the one that you would pick to win?
I think that Nomadland is not only my personal favorite to win, but I think that that one will win because Chloe Zhao is getting like so much attention and like all the awards right now.
Very true. This one's kind of a toss-up for me. I'm not really sure which one's going to win, and I don't know if I can even say, since I haven't seen The Father yet or Minari. So I don't know. I don't want to pick one yet, but I guess if I had to, I mean, personally, if I was a voter and I had my own 5 that I just said, I would personally vote for First Cow, actually, which I didn't even like love the movie, but I just thought the screenplay was like really good and really interesting. So I'm going to go with that for my vote, even though it's probably not going to get nominated anyway, but that's okay.
I have First Cow is the very first Kelly Reichardt film that I've seen, and I've loved it so much that I want to see every Kelly Reichardt film now.
Oh, that's interesting. I think it was the second one I've seen of hers. I've seen Wendy and Lucy, which had Michelle Williams in it, and I actually didn't like it that much. It was okay, but it wasn't for me. Like, it was well done, and I could appreciate it, but it's not one that I would watch again.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I can tell based on First Cow that her style is very like slow, very character study.
Yes,
you know, like
definitely.
very there's a purpose. There's a purpose though to slowness, at least from what I can tell from her work.
You're right. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm personally more interested in seeing from Kelly Reichardt, Meek's Cutoff, which also stars Michelle Williams.
Yeah, I need to see that one too.
Yeah, that one I think is on Hulu, and my Hulu subscription actually it expires soon, and I'm not gonna renew it because I really need to save every dollar that I have right now, so I gotta see it soon.
Oh yeah, you better get on that then. After we record this, go watch it. Just kidding.
Yeah, I might honestly. So, for best original screenplay, what do you got?
All right, I have Trial of the Chicago Seven, Promising Young Woman, To Five Bloods, The Sound of Metal, and the dark horse one for this one, which I don't think is really probably going to get it, but I'm going to say it anyway, Palm Springs.
Dude, Palm Springs is so good.
It
Oh man,
is. It
I love
is.
that movie so much. But Sound of Metal and The Five Bloods, I really like those films as well. But actually, I think Sound of Metal has a chance, but I don't think The Five Bloods really has a shot.
Well, let's hear what your picks are then.
Yeah, well. First about The Five Bloods. Again, like First Cow, The Five Bloods came out too early in the year and I think I think Academy members really only remember Delroy Lindo's amazing performance from that film and not the film itself.
Okay, that's fair.
But yeah, me personally, who I think is gonna get nominated and who I want to get nominated, much like adapted screenplay, my original screenplay, who I think and want to get nominated, is basically the same. I have Mank, Minari, Promising Young Woman, Soul, and The Trial of the Chicago Seven.
Okay, yeah. So the problem is that I've only seen two of those. So
Oh wait, you still haven't seen Soul yet?
no, I haven't had a chance because Disney Plus is only on one TV in this house, and I'm usually not able to use that TV without I'm living with my parents currently, and they are in charge of that TV, so they would have to agree to watch it probably.
Got it. All right. Well, if you do get the chance to see it, I think you'll at least like it. If you don't love it, you'll at least like it.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna like it too. I've liked pretty much all Pixar movies, so.
Same. Only a few of them have really like disappointed me. But I think that it's gonna get nominated because like it's Pixar obviously, and Pete Docter, who also directed the Pixar movie Up, Monsters Inc., and Inside Out. Up and Inside Out got nominated for original screenplay, and so I think Academy
Right.
and also Up and Inside Out won Best Animated Feature. Soul is obviously winning Best Animated Feature. I mean, obviously it's Pixar, but I think that that film also has a shot with original screenplay as well, because the dialogue I thought was pretty good, and in fact, Kemp Powers, who co-wrote Soul, also wrote One Night in Miami. I think that the winner for original screenplay, it's so obvious.
Oh, is it?
You can't beat Aaron Sorkin. You just can't beat Aaron Sorkin.
Well, I suppose that's true, yeah.
Trial of Chicago 7 got a lot of attention specifically for Aaron Sorkin continuing to be an amazing writer, and I think
Yeah.
that he's the clear winner here. I don't know, I think so.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a good chance. I wouldn't be surprised and I wouldn't be upset if it won. I mean, I personally would want to see Promising Young Woman because I really liked that one. But yeah, I think Trial of Chicago 7 has a really good chance of winning that one.
Yeah, no, well, personally, I think that Trial is the clear winner, but Promising Young Woman, I was surprised actually at how much I enjoyed that film because I mean, I read, a lot of positive things about the film, but I also read, well, unfortunately, I read that one Variety review where the guy, just said that awful thing about like Carey Mulligan and how
Yeah.
Margot Robbie, a more attractive person like Margot Robbie.
Yeah,
You heard about the Variety review of Promising?
I did. Yeah, I just read about it on Friday or Thursday. I was kind of surprised that Variety would have even printed that.
How
But
can you even say something like that? Like, first of all, you're just proving the white male writer, white male critic who wrote the Variety review. You're just proving the point of the movie. And second of all, Carey Mulligan is very attractive.
yeah, I mean, it's all subjective, of course. But yeah, I mean,
Yeah, I'm glad that Variety should have never review to begin with, but at least they did apologize to Carey Mulligan.
Yeah, it's so bizarre to me that they would have printed that. Like,
It is so bizarre, but anyway, like I think Promising Young Woman. Actually, I think Promising Young Woman has like a 5 to 10% chance of winning because it has
that's a great
Emerald
chance.
Fennell. I'm sorry.
I said that is a great chance.
I mean, honestly, like with how unpredictable this year is, last year has been, and this year kind of. Honestly, we might have a dark horse with Promising Young Woman. We might have a surprise winner.
Yeah, who knows?
But yeah, I
So
was.
I wanted to say something though about your whole like not beating Aaron Sorkin thing. Is he's been nominated? He hasn't won every time he's been nominated. So just saying, he didn't win for Molly's Game and he didn't win for Moneyball. So he did win for The Social Network, but that was deserved because that's a great movie. But just wanted to put that
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, no, I get your points. But yeah, I mean, I guess Promising Young Woman, Emerald, I have looked into like the smaller like critics award circles and all that, and I did see that Emerald Fennell, who did a great job, I think, with Promising Young Woman, she has won some of the like smaller critics awards. So yeah, she'll definitely be nominated. She's definitely gonna be nominated.
Yeah.
All right, but moving on to supporting actress.
You want me to go for it?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. All right. So this one was kind of tough. I was looking through a lot of the potential nominees and I hadn't seen some of them. So a couple of these, I'm not really too sure that they're going to get it, but this is what I'm going with based on what I've seen. I have Amanda Seyfried for Mank. I was pretty surprised with her performance in that. I don't think she's a bad actress by any means, but I thought she actually was very good in Mank. I was kind of surprised. Ellen Burstyn, I don't know if I pronounced her name correctly. I apologize if not. For Pieces of a Woman. Maria Bakalova for Borat 2. I'm not going to say the full title. That's long. And then the last two, like I said, this is kind of hard for me because the ones that I saw, I was like, yeah, they probably will get nominated, but I haven't seen it, so I can't really speak to it. But I put Helena Zengel, who's the young girl in News of the World. I'm personally very easily impressed when young actors are in movies and have like really big roles, and she impressed me a lot. So I picked her, and then my last one, I don't really think she's going to get it, but I just put Saoirse Ronan for Ammonite, just because that was like one of the ones that I saw that I knew I could speak to, and she did a great job in that, and as she usually does. So those are the five, but I'm not married to them.
I haven't seen Ammonites. I actually have been holding off on it because I haven't heard. I've heard mixed things about it. What did
Yeah.
you think of Ammonite?
It was interesting. I mean, it was a bit slow, but that's okay. I mean, it's not supposed to be like, an action movie or anything.
Okay.
It was interesting, and it wasn't really a movie that I feel like would have been made maybe like 10 or 20 years ago. There's a lot of comparisons to Portrait of a Woman on Fire. I don't know if that's the exact title. Again, I apologize if that's not correct. But the French film that came out last year, which has kind of a similar premise because it's like both of them are about a lesbian relationship that takes place kind of in a seaside, old-timey setting. So in that sense, they're similar, but the rest of it's not really that much alike. But anyway, it's good. It wasn't amazing, but it was good. I didn't hate it. I didn't want it to be over or anything, which isn't exactly a glowing review, but it's worth watching, I think.
All right. Yeah, I have avoided it because, some people on Letterboxd like didn't give it very good reviews. And also I have heard of the comparisons with Portrait of a Lady on Fire, which is an amazing film. So I didn't want to see Ammonite if it was just like a carbon copy of a Portrait or anything like that. But you say that there is enough differences to warrant Ammonite's existence.
Yeah, it definitely is because it's a different plot, and I mean, Portrait of a Lady on Fire is definitely the better film, but it's not like a huge difference, like 10 versus 5 or something. I think it's different enough. Yeah, I mean, and
Okay.
that's not really even fair anyway to be like, oh well, they're both about lesbians or something. Like, okay, well then all movies about lesbians are the same then if that's the
Right.
case. So
Yeah.
so I think it's worth a watch.
onto my supporting actress picks. It's basically the same, really. Yeah, it's basically the same, really, who I think and who I want to be nominated. I also have Amanda Seyfried for Mank, Ellen Burstyn for Pieces of a Woman, and Maria Bakalova for Borat 2. But I don't have Helena or Saoirse. I have Olivia Colman for The Father.
Yeah, she's probably gonna get it.
And I also have Yoon Ye-jung from Minari.
Right. Yeah, those were the two that I was like, I should probably put them on this list, but I can't speak to them, so I'm just sorry. I'll leave them off, but not permanently.
Yeah, I will. I get why you left them off the list, but personally, I've seen both these films.
Right,
I was
right,
really
right.
impressed by both their performances, and in fact, I think that
Good.
Yoon Ye-jung is gonna win.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Who do you think is gonna win?
I actually put down, I mean, it's probably not going to happen, but I would love to see Maria Bakalova win just because since we're in the acting categories, something that I like to consider when picking like who I personally would vote for or who did the best job is could you find another actor to do the job that that actor did at the same quality? And I know that part of her story is that it was so hard to find somebody to play this role. And it's not just because like, oh, well, anybody could be funny, you know, or not necessarily anybody could be funny, but you could pick any, you know, American actress to just be funny and do like a funny accent or, you know, that kind of thing. But they went out of their way to go and get her, and she just came out of drama school, I believe. And honestly, like if you tried to recast it, I don't think the movie would work. I think she was really the perfect actor for the role. And that's why I would like to see her win, because the other ones that we've mentioned for who we would pick or who we would want to win, like they're all great actresses and they all did great performances. But could you find other actresses of equal quality for all those roles? I would say probably. I mean, I'm not going to necessarily go like every single role by role and give a breakdown, but I think it's possible. So that's why I personally would go with Maria Bakalova.
Dude, Maria Bakalova is fearless. What she did in Borat 2, like, wow. Like,
I know.
just, I'm not gonna say specifically what she does, but
Yeah.
wow.
You don't know by now. I mean, you should know by now.
I mean, well, everybody knows about the Rudy Giuliani incidents, but there's some
Right.
other
Well, even the rest of the movie. Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about, but still, everybody should have seen it by now.
Dude, her and Sacha Baron Cohen are fearless. Like they're not afraid of anything really.
Yeah, and that's what really a sign of a great actor is, regardless of if you're doing comedy or drama, is you cannot have any fear. You have to be willing to put it all out there and be very vulnerable. And they did.
Yeah, well, yeah, no, exactly. And I really liked Maria a lot in Borat 2, but me personally, I will admit I am very biased for my supporting actress winner. Well, I do think Yoon Ye-jung is going to win because I have like researched the inner critic circles, and I did see that Yoon Ye-jung did win some awards, but also Yoon Ye-jung, it was just really great, and I am a bit biased because she is Korean, and she did remind me a little bit of her character reminded me a little bit of my own grandma, who just recently turned 84.
Oh, that's cool. Good for her.
Yeah. So I'm rooting, and I think that Yoon Ye-jung will win. Although I'm not as confident with her winning as I am with Trial of the Chicago 7 winning original screenplay.
Okay.
I think if Ellen Burstyn or Amanda Seyfried won, like I wouldn't be upset or surprised.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, for best supporting actor, the first three I think are pretty locked, and the last two are more wishful thinking. So I would say Leslie Odom Jr. for One Night in Miami, Sacha Baron Cohen for The Trial of the Chicago 7, and then Paul Raci, I believe is how his last name is pronounced. It might be Raci, for The Sound of Metal, And then the last two that I picked that I liked a lot were Glenn Turman in Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, and I think I'm gonna butcher his name. I'm sorry, Yaha Abdul Mateen for The Trial of Chicago 7. Yeah, those last two I don't really think they're going to get it, but I would like it if they did. I thought they both did really well.
I'm surprised that you think that Yaya has a chance because Sacha Baron Cohen is campaigning so much, and he's really the only actor from Charlie Chicago 7 that's getting like all the attention. So I'm surprised you think that. Well, I mean, no, you did say earlier that you don't think Yaya has a chance, but
Yeah, I don't. That was just wishful thinking, and I considered Chadwick Boseman for Da 5 Bloods, but I also kind of feel like if he gets, since we'll get to Best Actor later, but I feel like if he gets the Best Actor nomination, they might not double dip with him, but maybe not because they double dipped with Scarlett Johansson last year, so it's possible.
Yeah, it is possible. I don't think it's gonna happen, but I think it is possible. I'm surprised you also said Glenn Turman as well, because I mean, don't get me wrong. I thought that Glenn Turman was great, but I didn't think that his character had enough significance in the story for his performance to be recognized as much by the Academy.
Yeah, you're probably right, but I just was so basically the way I made this list was I went on Gold Derby, I looked at the odds, I went down the list. If I had seen it and I agreed with it, I wrote it down. If I hadn't seen it, I didn't write it down. So I basically wrote down like the first 5 that I had seen that I agreed with.
I got you.
So he was probably in like the top 15 or something.
And the other 3 you said were Paul Raci, Sacha Baron Cohen, and Leslie Odom Jr.?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, unlike the previous categories, as who I have for supporting actor and for who I think and who I want is actually pretty different.
Okay, that's cool.
So first, I'll say who I think will be nominated for supporting actor. So, who I also have Leslie Odom Jr., Sacha Baron Cohen, and Paul Raci, whatever, for Sound of Metal and Trial of Chicago 7, One Night Miami, all that. Who else I think will get nominated for supporting actor is Daniel Kaluuya from Judas and the Black Messiah.
Right. Yeah, I'm very anxiously anticipating that movie.
Same, actually, same. And Stanley Tucci for Supernova.
Oh, that's a good one, yeah.
Spoilers, Daniel and Stanley are not in my wants list because I haven't seen Supernova or Judas yet because they haven't even come out yet, like in theaters or like HBO Max where I'm going to see Judas and the Black Messiah. But which I'm really looking forward to that one as well. I really like Daniel and Lakeith Stanfield. Jesse Plemons are great actors who are in it as well. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing Judas and the Black Messiah on HBO Max soon. Stanley Tucci, like Supernova is a very seems like a very Oscar baity type of movie. It deals with just like The Father. It deals with a character who has dementia, and it has Colin Firth and Stanley Tucci as like 2 lovers, and it's a very Oscar-y type of movie for sure.
Yeah.
I actually think Daniel's gonna be the one who wins.
Really?
Yeah, because man, did you see the Judas trailer?
I did, yeah.
Like even in the trailer alone, I was like, he's good. Like he's really good.
Yeah.
But who I want to be nominated is actually really different. The only similarity actually between my think and wants list for supporting actor is Paul Raci. But for who I would have wanted to be nominated, I have Kingsley Ben-Adir for One Night in Miami.
Oh, I almost wrote him. I think he was like 6th on my list, actually, now that I think about it.
Yeah, he was really great as Malcolm X. I also have Yahya Abdul-Mateen II for Trial of Chicago 7, Stephen Yeun for Minari, and Delroy Lindo for Da 5 Bloods.
This is for supporting?
Yeah, so here's the thing with my wants list. So Stephen Yeun and Delroy Lindo are being campaigned for lead actor, like at the actual Oscars, but I think that their characters that they played are more supporting characters. So I wouldn't necessarily call Delroy Lindo or Stephen Yeun's characters in The Five Bloods and Me Not be the leads of those movies, I think that it's more appropriate. I think that they would also have a better chance of being nominated if Netflix and A24 were to campaign these two actors for supporting actor. I think that Stephen Yeun doesn't have a chance to be nominated at all because the lead actor race this year is actually quite packed, and I think he would have had a better chance in supporting. And Delroy Lindo, I think he would have had a better chance for in supporting as well, and he's actually who I would pick to win Best Supporting Actor.
So if you don't think he's the lead in Da 5 Bloods, is there a lead character in Da 5 Bloods then? And if so, who is it?
I think that Clark Peters, his character played the guy with the Vietnamese wife and half Vietnamese, half black daughter. I think that his character is the lead.
Okay.
He seemed to have more significance and more screen time in the overall plot than Delroy Lindo's character, although Delroy Lindo's character is the one that everybody remembers the most.
Yeah, that's true.
He was also the best actor in the entire movie. But yeah, like, I don't know, just me personally, like, I would nominate, if I were in charge of the Oscars, I would nominate Delroy Lindo and Stephen Yeun for supporting instead of lead. I want Delroy Lindo to win, but I think that Daniel Kaluuya will win.
Interesting. I think Sacha Baron Cohen's going to win.
I think that Sacha Baron, yeah, because they've been campaigning, because Sacha Baron Cohen has both Trial of Chicago 7 and Borat, and people are still talking about both, even though those films came out like a few months ago. People are still talking about Trial and Borat too. So I do think Sacha Baron Cohen has a really good chance of winning, but people, like, I think Judas is going to come out, surprise a lot of people, and people are going to say, Daniel Kaluuya, that vote for him.
I hope so. The only other thing I would say about Sacha Baron Cohen that has things in his favor is that the Academy does seem to enjoy it when someone who's known for doing comedy does drama. So that's true.
Yeah. Or like Michael Keaton, you know, he was Batman, and then he did Birdman, and so people do like that. But moving to best actress, who do you have?
Okay, I have Viola Davis in Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, Frances McDormand in Nomadland, Carey Mulligan in Promising Young Woman, Vanessa Kirby in Pieces of a Woman, and last one, I went with Sophia Loren in The Life Ahead. And honestly, I couldn't really even pick one to say who I think is going to win, just because I'm going back to what I said about could you get another actor to play these roles, and except maybe in the case of Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, only because it's specific to her race. I feel like for the other four that I mentioned, probably you could find another actress to do those four roles in Nomadland, Promising Young Woman, Pieces of a Woman, and The Life Ahead. So I don't know. That one's a toss-up for me. But those are who I would pick right now if I had to vote right now.
So 4 of the people that you named are also on my list for Best Actress, being Carey Mulligan, Frances McDormand, Vanessa Kirby, and Viola Davis.
That's what I thought you were going to say.
Yeah. And honestly, I would be fine with any, it's really just any 4 of them who are definitely for sure gonna get nominated, and one of them's gonna win. I'm personally rooting for either Frances McDormand or Carey Mulligan.
Mm-hmm.
But the fifth actress, so who I think is gonna get nominated is actually Zendaya for Malcolm and Marie, which again is a film that hasn't come out yet, so neither one of us has seen it yet.
Yeah.
So but I think Zendaya's been impressing a lot of people lately with her presence in the Spider-Man films and Euphoria on HBO. She won an Emmy for Euphoria, so I think that she'll probably get nominated for Malcolm and Marie. The Academy does like awarding, these legacy actors like Robert Duvall
Yeah.
And now Sophia Loren, with like Oscar nominations when they're like give a performance when they're like really old, but the Academy occasionally will award a given nomination to a much younger newcomer
Yeah.
actress, and I think that this year is a year of Zendaya actually.
Okay.
So, but that's who I think will be nominated in the fifth slot. Who I want to be nominated in the fifth slot actually is Elizabeth Moss from Shirley.
Wow, that's a real dark horse.
No one's talking about that film anymore. And even when it came out, no one was really talking about the film. But Shirley was a very weird and at times
Yeah,
stupid
it was.
movie. But
Mm-hmm.
what was consistently great was Elizabeth Mott's performance as Shirley Jackson. So personally, I would have nominated Elizabeth Moss, but I think Zendaya is going to be the one. But Zendaya has no chance of winning. It's one of the other four who's going to win.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah, but I'm personally rooting for Carey Mulligan or Frances McDormand.
Okay.
Who do you think is going to win, or who are you rooting for?
I don't know. I know it's not really fair because it's not supposed to be like a popularity contest or based on who's already won, but honestly, I would kind of be disappointed, honestly, if Frances McDormand won because she's won twice already. And it's kind of like, yeah, she is great, but honestly, like, is she the only person who could have played that role? I honestly don't think so. So I don't know. I mean, if you put if I had to choose, I would probably personally want Carey Mulligan to win because that's my favorite of the four of those movies. But I'm not going to be upset I wouldn't be upset if Frances McDormand won, but of the four, she probably is my least favorite.
So before we move on to Best Actor, I'm gonna derail the conversation slightly for a brief amount of time.
Okay.
What did you think of? By the way, spoilers for Promising Young Woman. What did you think of the ending?
I actually really liked the ending because it surprised me, and so I mean, you said spoiler. Did you you gave a spoiler alert? So
Yeah.
what am I supposed to say? Okay. So the whole time she's in that room with the guy, I was like, she's gonna get out of this. She's gonna get out of this. She's gonna get out of this. And then she didn't, and I was like, oh snap! They actually went there. They actually did that. I was not expecting them to go there with that ending. So because it shocked me, and because I didn't think they had the guts to do that, I was impressed by it, and I liked it. And unfortunately, I thought it was also very realistic.
I do think that even though that there is like happy music and all bright colors and all that stuff at the end of Promising Young Woman, there is a sad undertone to the ending of the movie because the only way that Al Monroe could be locked up is by committing a crime against someone else essentially. Like he's not being locked up for the Nina.
Yeah.
What was the character's name? Nina.
Just Nina's fine, probably.
Yeah,
I don't remember
Nina something. Yeah, Nina, and he's being locked away for murdering Cassandra. And
Yeah.
I think that that's really sad. That I mean, yeah, like some people might see it as a happy ending. Oh, this awful man is finally being locked away, but he's not really being locked away for the right reason. Well, I mean, he did commit a crime by murdering Cassandra, but still, it's like, no one's in court. No one's gonna really be bringing up Nina. They're just gonna be bringing up Cassie.
Yeah, that's true. I wasn't even really thinking about that when I saw it. I was thinking only about like Cassandra and if she was gonna live or not.
Yeah,
I didn't even really think about now that he killed her, now he's going away to jail. I honestly didn't even think of that.
Yeah, so no, I mean, you're not the only one. Yeah, a lot of people, like I see online a lot of reviews of people being like, oh yeah, like people who liked the ending, because there are a lot of people who dislike the ending and the movie overall, and I get why.
My mom was one of them.
I get why. It might be a little bit too flashy. It might be a little bit too comedic.
Yeah.
And the ending might rub some people the wrong way. I get that. Me personally, I appreciated what they were doing with the film overall, and the ending. Yeah,
Mhm.
like you said, I was fully expecting Cassie to get away with it.
Yeah,
Like torturing and killing Al, but then when he killed her, I was like, oh my gosh. And then,
yeah,
that another twist at the end, like, but I didn't see it as a happy ending. I saw it as like, well, I saw it as a justified ending, but with
yeah,
really
yeah.
sad undertones.
Agreed.
Since we were talking about Promising Young Woman, I just want to get your thoughts on the ending, and which is very divisive.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, like I said, my mom did not like the movie at all. She didn't like the ending. She didn't like any of it. She said, "I think it must be a generational thing because I just didn't get it."
But who are your nominees for Best Actor?
Okay. Well, this was one where this might be a case of miss campaigning or something because I'm going to mention a few that you've mentioned already in different categories. So, Chadwick Boseman for Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, and I hope he wins. I think he'll win, and I feel I'm always torn about these because when it's somebody who has passed away, it's always really hard to tell if it's a case of, oh, well, we don't have another chance. He was good enough, like just give it to him. These other guys have a chance. Or was it really, yes, he really had the best performance of everybody. That's tough, but I think he did, and I would vote for him if I could. I would also nominate Riz Ahmed for The Sound of Metal. And then here's one. So I thought Delroy Lindo was the lead of *Defy Bloods, so I would put him in Best Actor. I didn't love the movie, but I'm going to go with Gary Oldman for Mank, just because I haven't seen some of the other ones that are getting attention. And then the last one that I put, which is probably not going to happen, but Kingsley Ben-Adir for One Night in Miami, because I think they're campaigning him as lead. So I don't know if he'll get an air or not, but of the five that I saw, I think those were probably the best so far.
Yeah, they are campaigning Kingsley Ben-Adir for lead, and I wouldn't consider actually well, the one I would consider for lead actually is Eli Gorif, who played Cassius Clay. I would
Right.
consider him to be the lead in One Night in Miami, and that's why I nominated Kingsley Ben-Adir in supporting, just like with Delroy Lindo. But
Yeah.
who I have, so my best actor list for who I think and who I want is actually very different, just like with supporting actor. So who I have for who I think will be nominated is Chadwick Boseman for Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, Anthony Hopkins for The Father,
Yeah, he's probably going to get it.
Delroy Lindo for Defy Bloods, Gary Oldman for Mank, and Riz Ahmed for Sound of Metal.
Okay.
Yeah, those five are who I think. I think Delroy Lindo will get nominated, but I think he's going to get nominated in lead because they're campaigning him in lead. But me personally, I would have nominated him in supporting. But I think that Chadwick Boseman will win
Yeah.
because and I wouldn't be upset about that because he was great. It
Yeah.
was his career best performance, but and I mean
Right.
no disrespect to the King of Wakanda, but he wasn't my favorite lead actor performance in 2020. It was Anthony Hopkins in The Father.
Yeah, I've heard it's pretty close between those two actually, and
Yeah.
I,
I
I can't say I haven't seen The Father yet, but yeah, that's what I've heard as well. So we'll see what
yeah.
happens.
I think that Chadwick will win, but I want Hopkins to win, but I wouldn't be upset if Chadwick won. As for who I want, also Chadwick, Anthony, and Riz Ahmed, but I would have also nominated in lead actor Hugh Jackman for Bad Education and John Boyega for the Small Axe film Red, White, and Blue.
Okay,
Yeah,
interesting.
I mostly nominated John Boyega not just because he was great, but mostly out of pity for how Star Wars did him dirty. But but yeah, and I
Okay.
know And I know that Hugh Jackman isn't eligible for Oscars because Bad Education is technically a made-for-TV film and not a theatrical film, but Hugh Jackman was so good in Bad Education.
He really was.
He was really good. He was already nominated for the Emmy though, so no way he's getting nominated for the Oscar. Some people are saying though that Riz Ahmed should win, and he was really great in Sound of
Yeah.
Metal, but I do slightly prefer Hopkins and Boseman, but slightly.
Okay. I had one thing I thought I was going to say about that, and now so I've been seeing that Stephen, you have the correct pronunciation. Is it Yuen?
Steven Yeun, I think.
Yun? Okay, I apologize, Stephen Yun. If he got nominated in Best Actor along with Chadwick Boseman and Riz Ahmed and even Delroy Lindo, that would be a really like history-making list of nominees, just because they would. Unless if you get Anthony Hopkins in there, that would be 4 or 5 that are non-white, and that would be really incredible. And that would just be nice for. Been talking about Oscars so white for so long now. It's like, okay, they finally are doing what the whole campaign was setting out to do. So
Yeah.
that would be really cool, and they would all be worthy of it too. It wouldn't just be like, oh well, we have to nominate some minorities, so here
Right.
you go. Like it would actually be worth nominating. So that would be really cool to see.
Yeah, but as much as I loved Steven Yeun in Minari, I don't think he has a chance. I think he would have a chance of getting nominated for supporting, but for lead, the lead actor race is just too packed. I don't think he has a chance.
Yeah.
Even on Gold's Derby, Colin Firth in Supernova has more chances of getting nominated than Steven Yeun.
Oh really?
I think so. Yeah, I haven't been on Gold Derby in a bit, but the last time I looked, which is like a couple weeks ago.
I'm gonna pull it up right now.
Yeah,
Do
but
live action fact checking. You can
yeah,
cut this out if you want.
yeah, I think that I think Supernova is gonna be one of those films that like you know what's funny is that films like Supernova and Judas and the Black Messiah wouldn't be eligible for this year's Oscars, but next year's Oscars in a normal year. But because of the changes to the Oscars rules via the COVID pandemic, they are eligible.
Yeah.
So that's kind of funny to I don't know. That's kind of funny to me to think about.
So right now, Gold Derby has the top as Chadwick Boseman, Anthony Hopkins, Riz Ahmed, Delroy Lindo, Gary Oldman, Stephen Yeun, Kingsley Ben-Adir, John David Washington, Tom Hanks, and then Keith Stanfield. And Colin Firth is 12th right now. So I guess something has changed in the few weeks. So
Yeah, I guess
maybe it'll change again. I don't know. Who knows?
Well, I think the reason why I guess Steven Yeun moved up so high is not really because of him specifically, but because of the controversy of the Golden Globes considering Minari to be a foreign film.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So that is a decision that like The Farewell and Minari, even though those films are primarily spoken in a different language, those films are produced by American film companies.
Yeah.
Like A24 and Brad Pitt, who's like one of the whitest guys in Hollywood, was an executive producer of Minari.
Wow.
So like, it's their American film. Just because they're spoken in a different language doesn't automatically make them foreign films. Golden Globes.
Yeah, they should just change the name of the category if they're going to do that.
Yeah,
Best film in a language other than English or something.
Yeah, I don't get I don't get why the Golden Globes did Farewell and Minari dirty like that. Because films that are only eligible for foreign films in the Golden Globes cannot be nominated for the best film.
True.
Which is one thing that the Oscars does better than the Golden Globes. Because with the Oscars you can nominate foreign film, and oh my gosh, if the Oscars had that same rule, then that means that Parasite wouldn't have been eligible for Best Picture, and people would have rioted. People would have gotten so mad, including me.
They really would.
Because Parasite was like my favorite film from 2019, and I'm so glad that it won Best Picture.
Mm-hmm.
Who are your picks for Best Director?
This was a challenge too because I saw this I left one off, kind of not necessarily on purpose, but I saw one name that I think probably will get nominated over one person that I picked, but I just personally didn't want to pick them. Even though I like them, I just didn't want to. So I went with Chloe Zhao for Nomadland, Aaron Sorkin for The Trial of Chicago 7, Spike Lee for The Five Bloods, Emerald Fennell for Promising Young Woman, and I don't think it's going to happen, but Regina King for One Night in Miami. And I put her in instead of David Fincher for Mank, only because I felt like Mank wasn't necessarily like, it was a good movie, but it wasn't necessarily good just because David Fincher did it. Like, it didn't really seem like if he hadn't directed it, it would have been, worse or better or either way. Like, it wasn't, Mank being good was not dependent on its director, I feel like. So that's why I personally wouldn't nominate him, but honestly, he probably will because he's David Fincher.
Right, yeah. Yeah, Mank had a lot of issues, but the one thing that was good about it was the technical aspects, the directing. Like David Fincher, he's a phenomenal director, and honestly, I'm surprised that Mank was actually as messy and as it was, because like Fincher is a perfectionist, so I'm surprised that there were so many well, technically it was flawless, but from like a story and character perspective, I really did not care for the story that much in Mank. Like, I was honestly like a little bored at times.
It was cutting between, the present for the film, which was like 1942 or something, right? And it kept cutting between the 30s and the 40s, which seems to be getting more common that movies do that now, but
it wasn't necessary.
Like, I wasn't at the edge of my seat, and I also feel like if you didn't know Citizen Kane or you haven't seen it, then you would just like not care at all. Like, okay, so what's going on here? Like, he's trying to write a script. Okay, big deal. Like, whatever.
Yeah, and honestly, and I was shocked at the end of the film when Orson Welles gets all mad that Mank wants writing credit, and then he throws box of like wine or whatever against the wall, and then Mank is like, I'll write that in the script, and that was like a nod, a reference to the famous tantrum scene in Citizen Kane, and I was like, really, Fincher, really, like, really, you're gonna make like that just felt so like out of character for Fincher to make such a like on the nose reference like that. But
exactly.
But I do think that he is going to get nominated for Best Director, though. I also think that Aaron Sorkin and Chloe Zhao and Emerald Fennell are going to be nominated for Director. And I also put Regina King as well, even though I also don't think that she'll really be nominated, but I still don't think that she's completely out of the running yet.
Yeah.
Because, people really like One Night in Miami. People really like her. And the Academy does, well, actually, more so the Golden Globes than the Oscars. The Golden Globes really like actors turned directors. Yes, but I do think that Regina King does have some shot at the Oscars as well.
Yeah.
And my list for who I want to be nominated for director is actually very different.
Okay.
So the only common person that I have between want and think is Chloe Zhao. So for who I want to be nominated is Chloe Zhao, Lee Isaac Chung for Minari, Florian Zeller for The Father, Thomas Vinterberg for Another Round, and Steve McQueen for Lover's Rock.
Okay, interesting.
I think that Chloe Zhao is going to win.
Yeah.
And she's basically who I want to win as well.
Yeah, I think she's probably going to win. She's getting a lot of attention for it. So.
Dude, at every like inner award circle that she's been nominated at, critics circle, whatever, she's won. Like unanimously. So she's gonna definitely be nominated, and I'm pretty sure she's gonna win the best adapted screenplay and director Oscar.
Yeah, wow, that'd be great.
Yeah, sorry to all the Fincher fans who want David Fincher to win his first Oscar, but it's not happening with Mank. It should have happened with The Social Network.
Yeah, it should have.
It should have, but they awarded Tom Hooper, who would from The King's Speech, who would later direct Cats.
Yeah, that's true. I was gonna ask who won that year, and you mentioned
Yeah.
it. Yeah, that's true.
Cats. Oh God. Anyway, but yeah, no, I think Chloe Zhao will and should win.
Oh,
But
cool though.
finally, so we're gonna get into the final category now, which is Best Picture. And we did talk about this earlier, but I just want to double check. We're naming 10 films and not just five, right?
If that's what I said, then I misremembered myself. So I apologize because what I remembered saying that since it's now it can be five between 5 and 10. I did that myself. I personally only have six,
Okay.
but you can do 10 because they can nominate up to 10. So I think we're good with that.
All right. Yeah.
If you
Yeah.
picked 10, then yeah, that's fine.
All right. Yeah. No. No problem. No problem.
Okay, I have Nomadland, Trial of the Chicago Seven, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, One Night in Miami, To Five Bloods, and Promising Young Woman. But I'm pretty sure more are going to be nominated. I just haven't seen them. So I think probably when you name some more, you'll probably say ones that I expect will be nominated, but I haven't seen. So
Hmm. I
yeah.
gotcha. Who do you think is gonna? What do you think is gonna win Best Picture?
I don't know at this point. I'd like to see more of the predecessor awards to see what wins, just because a friend of mine and I we have this argument or discussion point of if you win Best Picture, should you win Best Director or vice versa. Personally, I don't think that they should be the same necessarily. It can be, but I don't think they have to be, and he thinks they should be. So I don't know. Personally, I wouldn't pick Nomadland because I thought it was good, but I didn't think it was like amazing. It didn't blow me away. Really, honestly, none of the ones that I even mentioned blew me away. Except for maybe Promising Young Woman, but that was more of just I loved it. It wasn't necessarily that I thought it was the best made or anything. I don't know. It's really hard to say, but I don't know. I don't know which one's going to win. I think it's a little early to tell, and I don't think there's any out. You can correct me if I'm wrong, since you said you've been following more of the critics awards, but I don't think there's been any yet that's like, oh, this one's definitely won all of the awards so far, so it's probably going to be that one. Don't even bother with the others.
Mm.
Maybe Nomadland, but I'm not positive.
Well, everybody's loving Nomadland, like literally, like everybody. But you know what's funny is that my mom and I, like literally, like 2 days ago, had a conversation about Best Director and Best Picture being the same or not. So it's funny you
Yeah.
brought that up because my mom and I also had a conversation. And
Uh-huh.
like you, I don't think that they have to be the same, but like your friends, my mom thinks that they should be the same.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
yeah, like no, I don't think that they have to be the same though, because like in 2013, I think 12 Years a Slave and Gravity were nominated the same year.
Yeah.
Gravity won Best Director, Alfonso Cuarón, but 12 Years a Slave won Best Picture. And I think that Gravity was like in terms of like the directing and what Alfonso Cuarón did with like
Yeah.
communicating with his actors, with setting up the structure and the world of
Yeah.
the film, and all the amazing filmmaking and all that stuff. I think that 12 Years a Slave is a better movie than Gravity, but I think Gravity
Yeah.
was slightly better directed. Although I'm not saying that 12 Years a Slave was poorly directed. I'm just saying
Right. Right. Yeah.
Gravity was Alfonso Cuarón is like an amazing director. Who I have and who I think and who I want will be nominated for Best Picture is actually kind of different. So
Okay.
I'll say who I think will be nominated. I did up to 10. So some of these films might not get nominated because the Oscars might only do like 8 or 9 or whatever, but
Yeah.
I did up to 10. So for who I think will be nominated, I have The Five Bloods, The Father, Mank, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, Minari, Nomadland, One Night in Miami, Promising Young Woman, Sound of Metal, and The Trial of the Chicago 7.
Okay, that's interesting.
I think that Nomadland's probably gonna win, but some people are saying that like The Trial of Chicago 7 could be like a surprise winner because it's like arguably the most like accessible film in this list. Like it's the easiest film for people to like for regular audience members to watch.
Hmm.
Because
So you mean in terms of like it's easy to watch it like because it's on Netflix, or because it's like the actual filmmaking is accessible, like, and easy to understand?
the actual filmmaking is like and the story is like easiest to like understand and digest for regular audience members.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah, I think that for like the other films, like like I have seen comments online from quote unquote just like regular people and like friends in my personal life who aren't
Yeah.
like big like movie cinephile buffs like we are. So like I've talked to a couple of my friends and seen comments online from quote unquote regular people,
Yeah.
regular moviegoer mainstream audiences, and some of the other films that are going to be nominated for Best Picture, like Mank, The Five Bloods, Nomadland. Some people found those films to be either too long or too artsy or
Yeah.
like
That's
what the
true.
hell is going on kind of mindset. But like
Yeah.
with Trial of Chicago 7, and I guess One Night in Miami and Promising Young Woman, those are pretty straightforward. You could understand what is going on.
Yeah, and I know another thing too is that it reminded, since it came out in October on purpose because it was supposed to be right before the election, like a lot of people also appreciated that because it reminded them of the current state of politics. So, because I know I personally didn't really know like anything about that before I saw the movie. Like I had really only heard the name of the movie and of the actual case, but I didn't know really what it was about at all. So I was glad that it came out when it did, because yeah, it did remind me of current political things. So that might work in its favor as well.
Yeah, yeah, it has that angle as well. But who I want to be nominated, there are some films that are on the same list, but most of them are really different actually.
Cool.
So I have Soul, Minari, First Cow, The Father, Nomadlands, Lovers Rock,
Okay.
Palm Springs,
Hmm.
Another Round, Sound of Metal, and Then We Danced.
Wow, that's a pretty diverse list, which means it'll never happen.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no,
What are you doing nominating comedies?
I just named some of my favorite or the films that
I know.
affected me the most from the year as my
Yeah,
personal Best Picture list. But
yeah,
like over half these films have no chance of being nominated for Best Picture
yeah.
at the actual Oscars. But yeah,
It's cool that you did pick those though. That's cool.
yeah, I just wanted to yeah, I also was kind of intentional in picking films that I know for a fact wouldn't be nominated at the actual Oscars because I want to, throw out some more recommendations to people out
Oh,
there
there you go.
because a lot of people are saying, "Oh, 2020 was such a rough year for movies, barely anything came out." And
Yeah,
people that say this are not looking or are not aware of like the
yeah,
actual good movies that came out this year.
very true.
Yeah, because like almost none of my friends, and you probably haven't either, seen like Another Round or And Then We Danced.
Yeah, I mean, I want to. I hear about all of them, and usually they do come out in theaters, and I'm able to go see them wherever I am. But those are some of the ones that usually, when they do play, they would only play in like one theater in where I live. So I'd have to like go to that theater and make it a special trip, sort of, because it's not just the one that I would go to down the street. But this year, that wasn't a thing. So yeah,
Right.
I want to see Another Round because I've heard it's really great, and I would love to watch it. But where can I watch it? I don't even know. I literally don't know where I can watch it. I Letterboxd has the option. They give you like, I think it's a pro function, so I'm not sure if it's available to everybody, but I have IMDb, or not IMDb Pro, Letterboxd Pro, and it gives you the option of showing you where a movie is showing not like at a movie theater, but like if it's on Netflix, it'll give you the Netflix icons. So I haven't seen any icons for another round, so I think it's still, you know, out there making literally no pun intended actually. It's making the rounds in the theaters or something, but only like one theater per street or something. I don't know.
Well, actually, another round is available to rent on YouTube and Amazon for like $10.
Yeah, that's nice. Just kidding.
Yeah, no,
I do renting as a last option
I
because I
get
already
it.
picked
No,
movies.
no, I get it. I would much prefer to watch it like on a streaming service or a theater, and yeah, I would much prefer doing that over like renting it on like YouTube or whatever.
Yeah,
But I
I
actually
have to.
was yeah, I actually was fortunate enough though to be able to attend a virtual screening for another round, and
Yeah,
so I got to see it kind of early, and yeah, so like, and I really enjoyed it a lot. It's like in my like
good.
top 5 favorites of the year.
Wow.
And you might be surprised to hear this, but Lovers Rock is actually my favorite film of the year, even though it isn't technically a movie.
I mean, it is. I think that's so silly that they're saying like, "Oh, this is a TV." It's not a TV film. Like they
Yeah,
don't even
yeah,
really make films for TV anymore anyway. Like just because it's on HBO or on whatever, that's not that doesn't make it a TV film. Like I feel like that's
exactly.
an updated category now anyway. But
Exactly, yes. So like the small axe film Lovers Rock is my favorite film of the year and the film I would personally say should win Best Picture, but I know it's not going to get nominated at the Oscars, and so I think Nomadland. And I would be happy with Nomadland's winning because I love Nomadland was also my top 5 favorites of the year.
good. I liked
Yeah.
Nomadland because they filmed some of it in Arizona, and I was like, "Hey, I bet I know where that is."
Oh, you actually know where like some of the locations are?
Yeah, so one of the sites that she goes to is a town called Quartzsite, Arizona, and it's really close to the border with California. So actually I drove past it when I was driving from California to Arizona for recently. So I was like,
Mhm.
"Hey, wait a minute. Is Frances McDormand over there? Should I go look?"
Gotcha, gotcha. All right, all right. Who I think and who I want? Well, the majority of the categories we talked about tonight were basically the same, like who we think and wants to get
Yeah,
nominated, win. But for me
yeah.
personally, there were some very notable differences, and I'm surprised that you brought up people like Glenn Turman. Like I wasn't expecting that at all.
Yeah, well, I really liked him because I remember when I was watching the movie, I couldn't remember what his name was, and I felt so bad because I really liked his work. And I was like,
Mhm.
"Who is that? Who is that?" And then I saw his name. I was like, "Yes, okay. I love his role. I loved what he did, and I would like to see it. It's very, very unlikely to happen, but I said it anyway."
Yeah, I mean, I think he is a great actor, and I was really impressed with his work in like some other films, but I don't know, just it
Hey,
just
I
made
get it.
like his character just didn't put enough of an impression on me personally. Like
Sure,
the only two characters in the movie that I really remember is Viola Davis and Chadwick Boseman's characters.
sure.
They're
That's
they're
fair.
they're also the most famous actors in the movie, so.
That's true.
But yeah, I think that this Oscars, like honestly, like the Oscars this year are probably like the most excited I've been for the Oscars ever. Because I mean, I know who's gonna win for certain categories, but for the most part, like it's so unpredictable this year.
I love it when it's unpredictable. I always do Oscar pools at my job. And it's funny because everybody knows now. I've been there for 6 years, so everybody knows when it's time. And nobody likes to play because everybody knows that I'm like the office movie buff. So nobody, everyone's like, well, Marianne already knows all of them anyway. So what's the point? I'm like, because you can win in those like not lower categories, like the not as well known categories, like in cinematography or the sound design or the visual effects. Like that's where
Right,
people will get ones that they just pick randomly or ones that they liked the best.
right, right.
So I so this year, yeah, it's more unpredictable, and I love that because it
Yeah,
makes the game more fun. I don't want to watch the Oscars and be like, I know who's gonna win all 7 of these categories, so why even? It's like why even bother? Like, okay, I'm watching it for the speech at that point.
I honestly have no idea who's gonna win in the technical categories though. Like visual effects,
Yeah.
cinematography, I have no clue.
Well, yeah, because like normally those would be for the bigger blockbuster movies, but there weren't really any big blockbuster movies because they all got pushed to this year.
The few like blockbuster movies that came out, I personally wouldn't nominate in certain categories. Like
No Bad Boys for
I
Life.
like yeah, Bad Boys for Life. You know, Bad Boys for Life is not getting nominated for anything, but like what like some people like think that Wonder Woman 1984 will be nominated for visual effects, but the visual effects now were kind of bad.
Yeah, they weren't great.
Yeah, they like I actually rewatched the movie a second time, like right before my HBO subscription ended,
Yeah.
and I actually liked it a lot less. I actually
I saw
this
you gave it a lower rating.
yeah, like I thought it was fine the first time I watched it. I did have issues with it, but I thought, you know, people are hating on this movie too much. I don't think it's bad, but then I saw it a second time. Now, I don't know if like my opinion has been like subconsciously influenced by seeing all these bad reviews online or if I just
Yeah.
genuinely did not really like it a second time watching it, but second time watching it, like I don't know, just I just disliked it a little bit. I just started disliking it, honestly. Like I don't think it's still not a horrible like abomination to society,
Yeah,
but like
definitely not.
I don't know, I just found myself getting frustrated a little bit more watching it a
Yeah,
second
I
time.
think that's fair. I mean, I saw it twice as well, and I didn't love it as much the second time either, so that's fair.
One thing though that both times watching it that I really didn't like was Kristen Wiig as Cheetah.
Interesting. One of my best friends actually said that that was her favorite part because she doesn't normally like Kristen Wiig, so she was like surprised, I guess, because she doesn't like her, and so she thought she did differently than she usually does, so she liked her for that reason. I didn't really have an opinion either way. I thought she was fine. Did she have to be the one to play it? Probably not, but I don't think, personally, I don't think the movie suffered because of it.
I don't know. I just found her character I felt like they just added Cheetah just to have a fight scene. Because she can't really fight Max Lord. Like, he's just a guy. Like
Yeah,
Wonder Woman, I
that's
mean. Well, but yeah, well, like I said before, this Oscars race is very unpredictable, and I'm really looking forward to seeing the Oscars this year, and you know some of the other award. I'm looking forward to seeing like the Golden Globes and like other award shows prior to the Oscars, because usually all these award shows tend to nominate the same things.
Well, one thing that I like about the Golden Globes, minus the whole like international film thing or foreign film thing, is the fact that they split up the actors and do the best picture drama
Right,
and
right.
comedy, because comedy and musicals are, well, not maybe not musicals as much, but comedies are very underrepresented at the Oscars, so it's kind of nice to see them get a little bit of recognition.
Right. Yeah. No, that's true. Yeah. That is something that I guess I do like as well. And I want to thank you for being on the podcast and talking Oscars with me.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me again. Third time's a charm, huh?
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, and I would really like you to be on a fourth time if you're willing.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sure we'll find something to talk about.
Awesome. And thank you all out there for listening to another episode of my podcast, Podcast Racing. Share in the comments down below who you think, who you want to be nominated, all that jazz. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.